We deliver the news to your door. Breaking news, top headlines, the big story, the latest update, and all you need to know are only available on the African Actions Network, 2A Radio and TV. The only
Hello, everybody. This is the African Actions Network radio and television station. Today we have a full house. We have personalities who have come to discuss the issue relative to Liberia and the elections that is expected in October this year. We have several persons that are in the race. Everybody wants to be president of Liberia. So individuals on the platform today will be discussing Liberia's elections, the electoral process, and what type of persons are Liberian yearning for. Talk about leadership skills, character-wise, education, and you name it. So those persons who are here today will introduce themselves, and then you get to know them. And if you have a comment, you definitely post your comment or your questions. We will ask them those questions. With nothing more to say relative to the topic, we want to say welcome to everybody. I see Mr. Numbo, I see Wolokoli, I see Mr. Anderson, Mr. Bani is here. We are expecting Mr. Chuchu Jones and Dr. Gumpo. At this point, we want to give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves as we go strictly into the discussion. The discussion is bordering around the Liberia's elections, presidential powers, meaning those who to be president, are they capable? The running mate, we're also going to cross our eyes on the running mates. Are they selecting the right persons to help them with the office of the president? The names we have heard so far, how do we think about them? So our panelists here will be able to discuss these issues. We hope before the end of the time, we'll have a better discussion. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we want to start with the co-host. Patient, briefly introduce yourself and give everyone the opportunity to speak, introduce themselves before we proceed.
Hello, my name is Patience Play, and I'm sitting as the co-host here tonight. And I want to say thank you for the invitation, and also I want to say thank you to our panelists here tonight. Thank you.
So we want to start with Mr. George Number. Mr. Number, many persons have heard your voice on this station before, but kindly introduce yourself and then give us your opening comment.
Well, I'm George Numbo. As you said, many persons heard me on this platform. And I hail from Maryland County, Pliwo District to be exact. And I'm glad to be here.
Okay. Mr. Wolokoli?
My name is Mengistu Wolokoli. I have been on your platform, I think, once or twice. Right. I hail from the Republic of Liberia. I'm a former presidential contender. Right now, I am looking forward to a lively and fruitful debate on the issues of concerns to Liberia and Africa as a whole.
Okay, Mr. Anderson, welcome to the African Actions Network.
Thanks. It's my first time on your show. My name is William Philip Anderson. I'm a senatorial aspirant of Maryland County and also a veteran soldier. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to be asking some questions relative to that as we go into the discussion. Mr. Bani is not here. But, gentlemen, we have this issue of the Constitution of Liberia. The Constitution of Liberia is clear as to who is expected to be president of Liberia. You must be of age 35. You must have property worth more than 35,000 United States dollar. You must have property insured. There's no mention about education. What type of president are Liberia yearning for? What type of president should be president of Liberia? So we want to start with you, Mengistu. You wanted to be president of Liberia. Firstly, let's understand a little backdrop to why you decided to withdraw from the race. Just a short comment on that. And then tell us what type of president should be president of Liberia. You are muted.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm sorry about that. I withdrew from the race for the presidency of Liberia due to the fact that I did not raise the financial, the money that I needed.
Someone has that gadget on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, I didn't raise the necessary funds for me to continue my candidacy, so that's why I withdrew from the race. When it comes to the presidency that Liberian need, it is not on me as an individual to tell the people of Liberia what president Liberia needs. It's on the people of Liberia to vote for who they believe have the best vision and are able to work to improve the lives of the Liberian people. So I think that that question that is always asked, I think that it's a loaded question. Because when you say the president that Liberian people need is loaded, I think the question should be asking, is the person qualified to lead? Does the person that he or she has the vision in order to lead Liberia to a better place? Can it take the country from where it's at now to the next place that is needed to be? I think that's where it needs to be asked. The Constitution that say you have to be 35 years of age and be of a Liberian citizen is what is needed. What is it that we as citizen that we supposed to impart in people when they are going to run for presidency? Is that, does this person reach the qualification, the mental state? Are they able to withstand the pressure of what is it that they are doing? When you go to college for 4 years, you are going to college for 4 years, that your employee is telling you, is the person that's going to employ you saying that this person is disciplined, that in 4 years that they went to an institution, that they took their time to go to school for 4 years and met the requirement to pass. That's what our 4 years of education in college is basically about. So when you're running for president, have you met the stage or the mental state that you are able to make the decision that is needed for the country? That you're not making a decision that is based on just you as an individual, or are you making a decision that is based on everybody that is be best in the best interest of the country? So I don't like your question how you phrase it, but that's how you want to phrase it. I understand, because that's how most people tend to phrase it. And so it is not on Mengistu Wolokoli or Mr. Joseph or Mr. Anderson to say this the kind of president that Liberia should need. That's where we go to election. That's why election are held. So
okay, that's good. That's good. We'll come right back to you. Mr. Number, the question is, what type of president do you expect, or what type of president do you want to be president of Liberia? We have people of character. We want good character. We want people of better education. We want people who have experience. We want people who are knowledgeable. So when I ask what type of president, and let's bear in mind, the electorate, the voters, we all are having these discussions because we want to provide education. So the first thing is somebody will say, what type of persons are in the race? Who should I vote for? So if I ask this question, Mr. Numbo, how will you address it? What is your take on that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jensen. The criteria, constitutional criteria you stated include 35 years of age, $35,000 property value, but we need to go beyond that. And I feel that Liberia is not yet ready. We need people with moral character. We need people who will say this and do this, not this and that. Those are the people we need. We need people who have the country at heart. We do not need people who feel that being president will contribute to their pockets, not to the welfare of the people. So for me, this is what we need. We don't need education. To me, education is marginal. Marginal. To me. You can come and say, this person is with PhD, that person is with master degree, and so forth. But that is marginal to me. So that is
okay.
my
Okay, we will come to Mr. Bunny. You being I don't know whether you stay in the race, but you have announced yourself as someone who wants to be president of Liberia. The question is, there's a lot of presidential aspirants. In your own judgment, your view, all of the aspirants you have heard about, including yourself, what are the criteria that you think you can advise Liberian to look for in a presidential aspirant?
He is muted.
You are muted, Mr. Bunny. We can't hear you. Okay, we will come back to you, Mr. Bunny. Mr. Anderson, we asked the same question. There are a lot of presidential aspirants, and in the crowded field, it is better that Liberians be informed. There are criteria, there are basic leadership skills, communication skills, integrity issues. So there are a lot of things that Liberians need to be informed about in selecting or electing a candidate. Right now, all of those persons who are aspiring have not registered with the Election Commission. They are not yet political candidates. So what advice can you give Liberians as to what type of leader should they be looking for?
Top on my list, I would prefer Liberians to vote for a leader who is visionary.
Okay.
We need someone who has a vision, someone who has the capacity with the accumulation of experience, work experience over the years, someone who knows governance, someone who has a vision and the capacity and ability to take us to the next level. That's the kind of a leader I want Liberians to elect.
Okay, thank you so much. We just have Chujo has just joined. Chujo, welcome to the platform.
Yeah, thank you, Jason.
Okay, and let's just start with you. Kindly introduce yourself briefly and then answer the question. What type of political leader? I know you're one of the candidates. Aspirants. So what type of leaders are we yearning for? What type of persons, should Liberia be looking at? Oh, this guy is good to be president. To say he's good to be president, I mean, there are a lot of things you have seen in this person.
Okay, first, thank you for having me. Chuchu Alex Jones.
Can you hear
and
me
I'm
now?
aspirant. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Mr. Banu will come back to you.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So I kind of lost you guys. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. What you need in Liberia is, first of all, you have to define what is the problem in Liberia. Okay. Every country is different. Okay. Every country has different challenges. So in terms of leadership, you need to find the right person that can match the challenges in Liberia. So if you ask yourself, what are the challenges in Liberia? I don't think you're looking for morality, because that is impossible. What your morality is different from what my morality is. So I think when people are talking about love for country, what your love for country is different from what my love for country is. Your may be philanthropy, mine may be business. So those are trite reasons that we look for leaders for, and that's why our country continues to disintegrate. When I look at Liberia, Liberia has only one major challenge, and that is you do not have opportunities, economic opportunities for the people. There's no jobs, there's no manufacturing, there's no businesses in Liberia that can hire or employ the vast majority of the people. So the kind of leader you need is somebody who understands economics, somebody who can create jobs, somebody who can create economic growth. Okay. So that's all you need. As far as morality, as far as there's no honest person, all of us here, nobody can put their hands on and say, I'm more moral than you or I'm more honest than you. Everybody has their shortcomings. But Liberia is a job. You have a job to be done. And what is the job? You got almost the slowest growing economy, the poorest country, one of the 7 poorest country in the world. You have destitution, you have poverty. The kind of leader I would want is somebody who can eradicate poverty, who can increase economic growth, who can create jobs for people. The rest of the other stuff, people have the more responsibility in their own rights to do that.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll come back to you. Mr. Bani, the same question goes to you. Leadership. Presidential aspirants should have strong leadership ability, and they should have the skills to make better judgment. There should be people-centered. There must be people who look at the country, like Chuchu was saying, you must look at all of the challenges in the country. Now, you be one of those persons who want to be president. We want you to go beyond yourself, right? Look at the issue. Who should be president of Liberia? Looking at all of the challenges, all of the problems in Liberia. What type of person should be president?
Thank you. Let me first of all extend thanks to all the members of the panel here, and the opportunity you're giving me to come on the show to express myself to the Liberian people. Your question, like the brother was saying, Mr. Nubo, education. Well, we cannot capitalize too much on education, but education is very important. But one thing we must look at, first of all, the chiefs in the interior who did not go to school. They made good leadership. I think the leadership of Liberia should be based on, like Nubo say, your character. Character comes first.
Okay.
We live in important countries that they will even go down to your childhood day to see the kind of person you are. You know, our mental ability always act on us as we grow.
Okay.
So the man who was there as a violent man, in the childhood, yeah, he can change. But we want to be able to evaluate the leadership of Liberia, and that's lacking. For instance, I think we should instead in our constitution the qualifications, not just being 35 years or older or this, but we should have criteria that through which people will meet. For instance, like Chuchu just said, you got to have heart for the country and love for the work you're doing. You know, John C. Maxwell said, to develop the leaders around you. And that's lacking in our leadership. If the leadership finds that you are sharp, you are a good leader, they try to eliminate you. I think those things should not be leadership quality. I will develop leaders. No, I don't have to know economics. But what a leader should know the quality of a leader, it should be to bring people and organize them. Find those people who can do the job and put them in the place that the job requires. And I, Joseph Biden, can do that.
Okay.
No, I don't know finance, but I can look for someone who knows about finance and put him in the right place, and we can do the job.
Okay.
I may not be an agriculturist, but I can find his people.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We'll come back to you, and I'll go back to Mr. Mengistu Eddie Wolokoli. Liberia has a lot of challenges. There are several names, people who want to be president. They are aspirants. Looking at the political field right now, it's charged. We have Joseph Walker, we have Alexander Cummings, we have George Weah, we have Chuchu Ellis Jones, we have Mr. Bani, we have a lot of names. The country needs a focus-oriented group of presidents. Do you think, with all of the names you are hearing, have you decided to link with any of these candidates so that you can give them support, or can you advise Liberians to gravitate towards any of these groups or persons?
All right. So after listening to everybody expose on the question that you asked and how you twist it around, everybody want to talk about Constitution. Everybody failed to realize one thing. In the same Constitution that you guys are all trying to quote, the Constitution states that you're supposed to campaign from August to September or September to October. That's when campaign is. But you all want to talk about character, the questions you have, leadership, and all that, right? But how can you have somebody campaign for 2 months for a job that is going to have for 6 years or 9 years? When we have people saying that, oh, people should not have flyers, people should not be around talking because it's the Constitution and stuff like that. How are the Liberian people supposed to know somebody character or somebody level of mentality in 2 months to vote for them for a 6 years or a 9 year position? So that's one. So everybody that's talking about leadership, how can you, when you go to your job, you are on a job for 3 months, you have probationary time. But we tell our citizens to elect somebody in 2 months for them to have a job for 6 years and 9 years. So now to your question, I have not decided yet on who I'm going to endorse. Right now, the field is there. There are people, Mr. Jones and Mr. Bani. I think that right now, Mr. Jones and Mr. Bani are being dishonest with the people of Liberia right now, because I don't think they know that if they are going to be on the ballot, and if they are going to be on the ballot, there are certain criteria according to the same Constitution that they are talking about that I don't believe that they have met those criteria. And if the NECs allows them to be on the ballot, then and they accept it, knowing that they did not meet the criteria to be on the ballot, then they have.
Mr. Wolokoli, if I may just ask you quickly, talking about Chuchu and Mr. Bani, what are the constitutional criteria you want to mention about, or are you talking about?
Okay, yes, right now, if Mr. Jones and Mr. Bani, they should already have the vice president already, because as of June 1st, they should have already submitted. June 1st is when everybody is nomination process. I don't think Mr. Jones or Mr. Bani have offices in all the 15 counties. So if they are on the ballot, then which means the Constitution have been null and void, and Mr. Jones and Mr. Bani should not accept that, because that's not leadership. They should say, oh, we should not be on it because we did not meet the constitutional requirement to be on. Those are just the two basic things, the two main basic.
Okay. I will come back to you, but just to make some little clarification on that, the Constitution and the statute or the electoral regulations, there are three different issues here. And I'm not sure whether the Constitution specifically said anything.
It does.
No, relative to naming a vice presidential running mate, there's no constitutional provision on that.
No. Listen to what I said. The nomination process, the nomination of your vice president, the law. I'm talking about having offices in the 15 counties. That's constitution.
That's what I'm saying. All of those in that regulations.
Hold on 1 second, sir. That's constitution. The naming of your vice president is something because you have to have the nomination, your nomination process. This is not constitution. The nomination process that the NEC has put out is June 1st. We'll be in June 1st as of 3 days from now. Mr. Bonnie and Mr. Jones, where are they? May
I just respond to Mr. Wole?
I know you will respond. I know, and I'm very deliberate not to allow certain things, but you'll definitely respond, the two of you, Mr. Bonnie and Chuchu. Mr. Nomo, from what you are hearing from Mr. Wole, you have any comment?
Oh, no. Just restate the question you referred to, Mr. Wole.
Mr. Wole has already addressed himself.
No. Repeat the whole question.
Okay, I will come back to you. Mr. Chuchu, do you have any response to
yes, actually I do. You know, let me just give you guys a brief history into my candidacy or my ability to want to be aspirant. Look, I can give a darn about presidency, whatever, okay? I never intended to in the first place. I've always been an advocate for change. Okay, I have sought all candidates repeatedly to run. I've given my support. I've helped them. Okay, my only idea of even contemplating, because there's something that I never want to do in my life, because most of the people who are running for office, they don't understand the magnitude of the job. Okay, for Liberia, it's something where it's more like a parlay where everybody I can run for president. That's a very, very towering position that's going to require all of your life, because the country is destituted. You can bring Bill Clinton to Liberia right now, Bill Clinton or Obama. I can tell you they will think twice before they want to be president of a country where you got warlords running around. Like Prince Johnson, what do call it talking about constitution? You don't read the constitution to have President Prince Johnson, George Bulley, that committed treason in Liberia, killed thousands of people. All right. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You know, we want cherry pick on what law fits that's convenient. If we follow the constitution in Liberia, okay, and we follow the laws in Liberia, all these people you see in the House of Representatives, they people that truck people from one place, all of them are guilty as charged.
Agreed.
Mr. Jones, are you in violation of any constitution or laws of Liberia that would disqualify you for the?
Well, that's for the Election Commission to determine. I'm not here to tell you. What all I can say is I'm an aspirant at this point. I am working on my applications and my candidacy. It's up to the Election Commission to make that determination. If the Election Commission say, Mr. Jones, you know what, you don't meet the requirement, or we don't think you're capable, but Mr. Prince Johnson, who all the other people, that's fine with me. I have a life.
You disagree with Mr. Wole on that, right?
Yeah, because the whole constitution in Liberia is convoluted. What constitution are you looking at?
Mr. Jones,
can I come in, please?
What constitution?
Okay. Just a minute, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Wole says something about Mr. Jones, who is a candidate, who is an aspirant, and Mr. Bani, who is also an aspirant. He said, if their names are on the ballot, he feels strongly that they have not met any constitutional provision. They have not named their vice presidential candidate. Yeah.
No. You are, that's not. Please quote me correctly. I said what I said, that right now the two people that are on this panel right now that are vying for the presidency, I don't think that right now it should be honest with the people of Liberia. because right now we are at June 1st is the nomination of candidates. Knowing that they have not selected the vice presidency, they should not. The presidency is an important task. It is not up for joke. We should not be joking around. But everything that we're talking leadership is not about us joking around. They should be coming up to say that, knowing that those little things, if they really believe in their heart, what is it that they believe? Where everything that they are saying, they should be saying right now to the people of Liberia, like I did. When I know I couldn't meet the requirements for me to do it, I withdrew from the race. They should not be sitting here still saying that they are going to do something, knowing
that is the basis. Okay, so Mr. That's the basis, because you mentioned the Constitution.
And I mentioned the Constitution because I'm saying to you, because this is what could happen. The election commission.
Okay, let's give Mr. Bani the chance to respond to your comment. Mr. Bani, I think you heard Mr. Wolokoli's own point relative to why you have not named your vice running mate. And he feels strongly that that's a disservice, and you should be thinking about withdrawing like he has done. Do you agree with him?
Well, Mr. Wolokoli, thank you for your expertise. But you know, the guy Wolokoli and Joseph Banning, whatever reason you decided to come in the race, I got my reasons. And your weakness or your strength and my weakness and strength, they're all different. Okay. Your faith and my faith, they're different. We got regulations, like you said.
Right.
And we got regulators. We got people who are referees. I think they should be the one to tell me, Mr. Bani, you didn't meet the criteria. And at that point, I will wholeheartedly accept. But not because of how you feel about me. And I can tell you, I will continue to remain in this race until NEC tells me, Mr. Bani, you can no longer go. And you talk about honesty? You talk about honesty? When TRC passed regulations, legal, that those who destroy this country, destroy our economic, should not take part in government activities. Where were you? Why you didn't stop Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? Who beat the system? Why you can't stop how you call it, Prince Johnson? Why you can't stop the warlords who beat the system in the place? Oh yes, my brother. If you are weak, I am not weak. I love my country and I will not give up. I will die fighting.
All right. We'll come back to you, Mr. Anderson. I mean, you are hearing the discussion. What do you think about Liberians, their decisions, and we discuss it because, and I want to make this clear, there are reasons why we have this platform, we have this discussion, there are reasons why we invite all of you people. And the primary reason is we want to provide education for those who are listening. Liberians are yearning for a better leadership. Talking about better leadership, we want to look at their criteria. If you look around the world, if you do research about presidential aspirants of people who should be president, it's not limited to my thought. There's a wide range of individuals who should be president. If you study political science, they will tell you the type of presidents that should be president. It's not people who we like. Now, we have heard a lot of names. The question I asked Mr. Wolokoli was, how can you make Liberians to gravitate towards all of the names or any of the names we currently have? We have people like Joseph Boakai, we have people like Alexander Cummings, Councillor Gonglo, we have Joseph Banning, Chuchu, and many other persons. What can you say to Liberians? Who do you think is better fit to be president of Liberia?
All right, I will go straight to the point. I meant to correct Mr. Wolokoli to state that there's a difference between constitutional law and statutory laws.
That's correct.
And I wish you understand that, but not to waste our time, I'll go directly into it. I think Honorable Joseph Boakai, who is one of the leading opposition, he is not qualified by my standard to be president of Liberia.
Why?
I will explain. I told you I'm a retired soldier. I'm the former national executive chairman of the Veterans of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Liberia. You all do understand that the Armed Forces of Liberia was unconstitutionally disbanded by the government of Liberia, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did enforce.
We lost him.
Okay, that was the voice of Mr. William Philip Anderson. We will get back to him. Mr. George Numo.
Okay. I mean, the question you restated to Mr. Anderson, I asked you to do that, and you refused to do that.
Mr. Numo, I'm sorry, and we shouldn't use a platform as a way of getting at one another. The only reason why, listen, Mr. Numo, I'll come back to you. Mr. Numo, I'm the moderator, right? So listen to me. Mr. Wolokoli was very specific naming Mr. Chuchu and Mr. Bani. Now, I just threw that to you to see whether or not you could make comment on that, but saying you were not ready, I went back to those persons.
No, I asked you.
But do you care to come?
I will comment.
Okay.
But I ask you to restate the question you asked Mr.
Okay, I apologize. Can you proceed?
To do that.
Okay.
Now, who I feel, I think it's injustice here. Here, we are talking about the person in the top 3 or top 4, and George Numo is here. Alex June is here. Mr. Barney is here. We are not in that top category. Where is Tiawan Gonglo people? Where a person? Where is Alexander Cummings person? But to answer your question, I feel that the person who Liberian people must or should select is Joseph Nyima Boakai.
Why?
And I feel that he has the qualification. People talking about education. I say education does not matter, but he has the education, and he is somebody we can look at as somebody who will lead us to the.
But Joseph Braga has been in government all along. Hold on, Mr. Number, hold on. Hold on, Mr. Number.
And before you come in, here's a man who will lead us to the promised land, as I know. So go ahead and make your comment about Joseph.
Okay, my comment is Joseph Boakai. You cannot deny the fact that he was on board with the Unity Party. The Unity Party, he was a strong second person in command of the Unity Party. They ruled the country for 12 good years. They were responsible to make decisions about the oil blocks, the finances of the country, all of the resources of the country. So why should Joseph Boakai be president?
Right.
You have to convince us and convince Liberia. Why should he be president when he has already tasted power?
Okay, you are playing. You are operating in a dual role.
What do you mean?
Anti-Boakai and pro-communist. So no, that is not fair.
That is not fair.
I'm telling you the truth. That is the position you are operating in. What Boakai have to do with the oil black?
Joseph Boakai was president of the Liberian Senate. No. Is that what you want to say? Joseph Boakai was president of the Liberian Senate.
Hold on. What did the George Weah government do about the oil black? The most lucrative oil black in Liberia is the Harper Basin. What did they do? Did they give it to people who are operating gas stations in Liberia?
Okay, Mr. Numa, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Mr. Majestu.
Yes, sir.
This is a serious matter when we're discussing Liberia, and it's all about leadership. When you don't have a better president, you're not going to have better ministers. When you don't have a better president, you're not going to have better chiefs, superintendents, and all of the officials of government. At this time, even though you don't want to say it, but we have to discuss those front runners, right? And somebody will get, maybe Mr. Banner will disagree with me because he might think that he's a front runner and it is his right. But we look at Joseph Boakai. Is he fit to be president of Liberia? Is he the front runner? In fact, should he be president? We look at Cummings. We look at Tiawan Gonglo. Even Joseph Banner, who is sitting here. Now, Mr. Numbo says something, and I want you to look at it. It's not because these persons are not here. Even those Liberians who are listening, they might listen to you. They say, well, I think Mr. Wolokoli make a lot of sense. I mean, with his advice, I can take that route. They can listen to Jordan and say, okay, with his advice, we'll take this route. Or Joseph Bani. And that's why we have in this platform. Why do you think Joseph Boakai should be the next president of Liberia? Do you agree with Mr. Numbo?
All right, so I will be endorsing somebody, but I will not be endorsing nobody on your show today. When I get to do my endorsement, I will state it. But I will say this to the people, to the panel, and to the people of Liberia. Yes, Mr. Joseph Blemmy. You may. I have my reasons why I got out of the race, but I will say this: in this race right now, I don't think anybody in this race right now has the vision that would carry Liberia into the 21st century. All the people that are running in the race right now, with the exception of the president of Liberia, the current president of Liberia, my problem I have with President Weah is that President Weah does not want the job. He has not learned on the job. He has not understood the gravity of the job of the presidency, and he thinks it's just for play. So I think that's the reason why the people should not elect him. If the people should not elect President former Vice President Joseph Boakai, is because former President Joseph Boakai do not have the vision, the 21st future vision of Liberia. His vision is stuck in the 1970s and 1980s. That's what his vision is. President Joseph Boakai said about a year and a half ago that his agricultural plan for Liberia was to give people cutlasses and axe to do agriculture. That's not vision. That's not progressive vision.
Okay.
Mr. Cummings, I would disclaimer. I supported in the last election. In the second round of the election, I supported Vice President Boakai. But Mr. Cummings is not ready to be president because Mr. Cummings is not a leader. He is a follower. He does not know how to make the decision that is needed for the country. Mr. Cummings worked in Coca-Cola entity. He was someone who just follows orders. He is not somebody he don't know how to make the decision.
Okay.
That's hold on. Councilor Gonglo is not a leader. He is not a follower. He's a follower, and he don't know how to make the decision. Councilor Gonglo was the chief solicitor and everything, the law thing that the Firestone law that was passed under the alien administration. Councilor Gonglo was part of it. Councilor Gonglo is a lawyer that sat there for 12 years, and he was one of the chief prosecutor that sat there. The Constitution said that you should be a lawyer, a mayor, a town chief, and a clan chief should be an elected position. That he sat there and never challenged the presidency, challenged the president of Ellen Johnson to leave to make sure we have election. So
okay. No. But listen. There are other people who will speak. Where we'll get back to you. You are throwing a lot of rocks around, or stones, if I may say. And so let's hear from Mr. Bani. Mr. Bani, you're hearing from Mr. Wolokoli, you're hearing from Mr. Numo.
Thank you.
Mr. Numo believes strongly that Joseph Boakai should be the next president. For what I'm hearing from Mr. Wolokoli, who have withdrawn from the race, he doesn't trust anybody so far to be president of Liberia. All the names we are hearing, He's condemning all of them for now.
I'm not condemning. I'm just taking to facts. I'm not condemning. I have
Okay, we'll come back. All right, we'll come back to. Okay, he says he's not condemning, but he's not agreeing with any of them to be president of Liberia. So we want to listen to you, Mr. Bani, and we'll go back to Chuchu.
Thank you, Mr. Colley, Wolo Colley. I like you, man. I think we can work together. But look here, gentlemen, and if there's any ladies and Liberian people, I think we who doubt leadership ability in these corrupt people that I would term them to be, and exactly you know now where I come from and where I'm going. I think we should be talking about rallying ourselves together. We would have the same ability that we can change this. This is why we are grassroots political parties. We may not be politicians, but I know there are majority patriots, and I am a patriot. I'm not a politician. I think we should be talking about us coming out together than trying to knock each other out when we have the thieves coming out again to take our country. No, Mr. Wolo Colley, I think we should be talking about coming together. Where if you talk about Mr. JNB, Mr. Boakai, in the first place, I always say that the monkey would never hang himself for eating the banana. And the moderator is right. What's different between Joseph Boakai or the Unity Party government and the CDC government? After all, George Weah is the result, is the fruit of the seed that Joseph Boakai and Eli Joseph Sally planted. They laid the wrong foundation. So George Weah come by and live according to what monkey see, monkey do. So if Joseph Boakai become president, you think he will actually punish Eli Johnson Sirleaf? Hell no. He was the president of Senator. He was one of those who passed some of those bogus contracts. So he will not even order his own government. And if he can't order Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, he will not order George Weah government, and then the country goes back into seeing lawlessness. But this is why I will do this. This is why Joseph Bani is the right person for this country. Law and order, I will restore it. And of course, I will build our military. That's why I have it written down in black and white. Mr. Wolo Colley, send me your email. I will send you my platform, and you read it, look at it. And that's why I will build a military in 4 categories. In 4 categories: the Army, the Air Force, the Marine, and the Coast Guards, to create jobs for my people. Because the only way we can rebuild this country is to create jobs for the people, which Joseph Boakai and Andy Johnson didn't do. And of course, I got police. And what we'll do, that Joseph Boakai said he would do and he didn't do, is this. That is, I will bring industrial farming. And that's it right here. Industrial farming. We're not working with no college, no hoe. We'll work with tractors and farm equipment.
Okay.
So I am the right president.
Okay. Mr. Chichu, we're looking at leadership in Liberia. All of the aspirants that we're hearing about, even though you are one of those aspirants, so far, you're still having a dream. You have not told us that you're going to withdraw from the race. Policy decision making is a difficult task for anyone who takes on leadership. Now, you heard from all of your fellow panelists. For George Numa, he says no. As far as he's concerned, Joseph Numa Boakai is the one who's supposed to take Liberia to the promised land. For Mr. Wolo Colley, he's thinking otherwise. He's still thinking about the different players on the field. He doesn't agree with any of those names we are hearing so far.
Somebody's going offline.
Yeah, that's the co-host. She will come back. She will come back online. All right. And for Mr. Bani, he said he's the best person. What is your view? What type of policy-making decision do we think about when we're thinking about leaders? All of the names we are hearing so far. Just assume that you are not in the race. Will you support Joseph Boakai, Cummings, Alexander, Cummings, or Councillor Gonglo?
So let me make it very clear. If I'm not in the race, more than likely I will be boycotting the election. And the reason I'll be boycotting the election, if I'm not and that depends on how things go, is because you can't participate in a fraudulent process, okay, and expect anything good from out of it. You got people reports of children registering at age 12, 13, all the irregularities. Liberians want to sit down and ignore it because we all want to be president. We all want our man to be president. These things, you know, we need to address them. We got to put self aside. And I'm more.
Have you taken action? You are a candidate. You as an aspirant. Have you taken action?
Oh, you know, I've been speaking, writing, you know, talking about it. I think I'm the only candidate who aspiring who have been very vocal. From
Besides that, you have to take court action. Other than that,
the court system is corrupt in Liberia.
I mean, you still have to test them.
Yeah, no, they've been tested. They've been tested. The system, listen, the system is broken.
Mr. Anderson, coming back to you.
Okay. Yeah. Whether you want to believe it or not, the system is broken. And the only thing you can do in Liberia is you can reform the whole from the constitution. First of all, the president has too much power. Okay, the president appoints even presidents of universities, MCSS, like Wolokoli just said, mayors. What kind of society is that? Where the president got to appoint mayor in all the way in the counties. Is that a system? You have people like Joseph Boakai who have been in government public service. What has been his policy? Show me one policy that Joseph Boakai aged in, because the age thing to me is a try issue. Bring Joseph Boakai, show me one of his policies, one of something that he written to say, this is my vision for Liberia. This man has a slogan, arrest. Are you kidding me? Where is he going to
arrest him? Arrest him.
Where is he going to healthcare? Do you have any interview? Do you have, you're a journalist. Let me finish. Do you have any record anywhere in the history of the 40 years Joseph Boakai has been there where this man has said, have proposed anything substantive to change his own county, or all the position he held from Minister of Agriculture to Managing Director of LPNC to LPRC? Show me where Joseph Boakai in his life, even if he was 30 years old. The man is incompetent. Okay, he's very incompetent, and they are playing on this tribal thing, and I can never support a man.
He's
incompetent.
Mr. Numo will address the concern.
The second man, let's go to Alice Cummings.
Mr. Jensen.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Let's go to Alice Cummings. Okay.
Yeah, before you go to Alice Cummings.
Alice Cummings.
Okay. Before you go to Alice Cummings,
just another useless human being, and I will tell you why.
We wouldn't take that from you.
Yes, a man. Today I read, recently I read where Elon Musk is opening a factory in Nigeria to make
Alex.
Yes.
This man boasts of corporate experience. He boasts of being Coca-Cola.
Taking his time. It's my time.
Yeah, I mean, patient, you have to control that, right? We wouldn't accept insult on the platform. Also, we respect everybody, even those who are not here.
That's very disrespectful.
Yeah. So, Mr. Anderson, you wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm saying Alexander Cummings is the best one to lead Liberia.
Why?
Cummings has the rightful platform. He has a vision. He has the capacity, the ability, and the will to lead Liberia where she needs to go.
They're not Joseph Boakai again. Eh?
Please hold on, please respect my time.
Yeah, Mr. Barney, give me a chance.
I earlier stated that Joseph Boakai is not qualified because of the abrogation of the Constitution of Liberia. He abrogated the Constitution. Moreover, you are all witness to the fact that Joseph Boakai clearly stated that they squander opportunities. So that alone disqualifies him because he was the running mate to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So
let's
basically,
let's get to the fact. If you say Joseph Boakai abrogated the Constitution, which provision of the Constitution he abrogated?
No president of the Republic of Liberia has the power to disband the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia without national legislative enactment of law.
Okay.
Even in the U.S., no president has that power.
But Joseph Boakai was not the president.
Yes, he was the vice president to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Right.
We did file in a bill of impeachment to have had her impeached. And because of the same corruption at the Capitol Hill, it just didn't work. And
Okay.
I still hold him liable because of that.
Mr.
Now, let's move.
Anderson, Mr.
Yeah.
Anderson, can I ask
Yes.
Mr. Anderson a question, because he keep bringing this thing up at this banment of the, were you part of the military during the Samuel Doe administration?
Yes, I was a part of the military.
Okay, so do you think that the military, I am a retired soldier myself, so do you think the military of the armed forces of Liberia served the people of Liberia during the Samuel Doe administration and the 14-year civil war?
Yeah,
I think
hold on.
Mr. Anderson, hold on. Mr. Wolokoli, hold on. We do not want to deviate from our topic.
No, because
today.
we keep bringing
Yeah,
that up.
yeah. I mean, we will.
Joseph
Is it not a national issue of concern?
Okay.
The armed forces of Liberia failed the people of Liberia.
No, you don't infringe on my
That's a
time.
separate issue here. That's a separate issue
Yes,
here.
and you also don't infringe on my time.
Yeah,
Please,
okay.
you don't infringe on my time, and you don't tell me what to say.
Oh, I'm not telling you what to say. I'm just
Okay,
telling
so
you that your opinion, your platform, where you are telling, where you are saying on Joseph Brecker, you have to look within yourself.
It is logical.
Mr. Wolokoli, can you give Mr. Anderson his opportunity?
Thanks.
Okay.
Now back to the point. I want you to conceive the fact that Joseph Boakai was the running mate to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
That's a fact.
I want you to understand the content of that matter. They were both on the same ticket. Whatever liabilities or whatever it is, they both bear it. If there's any lawsuit against the government of Liberia, they are reliable and responsible.
Okay.
So you must understand that fact.
Okay, we'll take note of that. We have.
I just have 1 minute, please.
Okay,
now,
we'll come back to you.
Excuse me,
Mr. Anderson. We have gotten your point. We'll come back to you. Let's introduce somebody just joined us, right? Dr. George P. Gopu is in studio. Mr. Gopu, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so sorry for being late. So sorry.
It's fine. Just quickly introduce yourself and probably make your opening statement, and we'll proceed.
My name is Dr. George Gumpu. I am an aspirant for the presidency of Liberia. I'm the co-leader of ADML, which is the African Democratic Movement of Liberia. I am an economist who worked in the Liberian government as Deputy Finance Minister for Budget and Budget Director, and I'm pleased to be here.
Okay, thank you so much. And not to waste time here, the topic today we are discussing the presidency, those aspirants like you and many other persons. Okay, we had a view of everybody here had said something about the type of person they expect the president to be, the next president to be. Are you deciding to withdraw from the race or support Joseph Boakai, support Alexander Cummings, or how you call it, Joseph Bani, Chuchu Jones, and all of those persons? Are you making any decision so far relative to, your political decision, or are you still maintaining your position to be in the race up to registration?
Okay, I didn't understand part of the question. I think you were break. If you said about, if the question is about whether I am in the race
after registration, or will you support Joseph Boakai in the case?
Bro,
Yes.
Hello.
You broke. Will I support who?
In the event where you have to withdraw, from the race, we have Joseph Boakai, Alexander Cummings, Councillor Gonglo. Who can you best support? Or Joseph Bani, Ellis Jones? Hello?
You're breaking. Yeah, you're not
Okay,
coming
come
in
back.
clearly.
Dr. Gompo, can you go out and come back in, please?
Okay, how do you do that?
Just I think
Check
just
it
log
out.
back in.
Okay, while we're
Okay,
waiting
leave.
for Dr. Gompo to adjust himself, Mr. Numbo, you wanted to respond to I think it was Mr. Bani, right? When Chuchu has said a lot about Joseph Newman Boakai. In fact, they feel that the three of them, Wolokoli, Mr. Bani, and Chuchu, they think Joseph Boakai should not be Liberia's next president.
I did not say that.
No.
Wolokoli did not say that. Please do not put words in my mouth. I did not say Joseph. I have not said that. I just gave my stuff about each individual candidate, and you stopped me. I did not
to include Joseph Boakai. There's recording of this discussion.
Yes, I did not say Joseph Boakai should not be. I did not say that. I said Joseph Boakai do not have the vision.
Okay.
Okay.
So if he doesn't have the vision, then what does that mean? Okay.
But he can be the
In a
president.
case, all right, Mr. Numbo.
Yeah.
Wolokoli says Joseph Boakai doesn't have the vision.
No, he said Joseph Boakai vision is still in the 70s and the 80s.
Thank you.
So it means then that
so
he's not
please quote me correctly.
Yeah.
Please
I
quote
don't have
me
to.
correctly.
I mean, I have my right to analyze. If you say somebody doesn't have the vision to be president,
no, I did not. If I say I endorse somebody, I endorse somebody. When I say I didn't endorse anybody, I didn't endorse anybody. Do not
let's give Mr. Numbo a chance.
Say exactly what I said.
You said he doesn't have the vision. Well, somebody doesn't have a vision.
He does not have the vision for the 21st century. His vision is insolent. But I did not say he should not be president. I did not say he's not qualified to be president. I did not say that.
I mean, we are educated people here. If you tell me, Mr. Wolokoli, that Mr. Boakai doesn't have the vision to be president, I mean, you don't want him to be president. I don't have to be in your mind.
No, that's not what it means. No.
Okay. All right, let's listen to Mr. Numbo. Mr. Numbo.
I'm giving a critique.
Mr. Numbo.
If
Mr. Wolokoli says Joseph Boakai doesn't have the vision. His vision is in the 70th century.
But Jensen, why don't you ask the man directly the question? Why did Mr. Wolokoli, do you think, would you like to see Mr. Joseph Boakai the next president of Liberia?
Yeah, already said he's not prepared to stick to this platform. Who you support, who doesn't support.
But then why is he here? You know, that's the part I don't understand.
Mr. Jones, that was the question.
But Jensen, the discussion here today is to talk about the leaders and their ability. If you don't have an opinion on that, why are you here?
I do have an opinion. I am giving my opinion on that.
The man gave his opinion already.
Hello. But the opinion. The opinion he's not in a position.
The man said Boakai vision is in the 70s and the 80s.
So what does that mean?
It means he's not even qualified to be in this century.
Okay, but why can't he say that?
That's not constitution. That's not constitution. He can have a vision of the 70s and the 80s.
No, but you are here to give your view.
Hello, Mr. Numbo. Mr. Numbo, let's hear from Mr. Numbo.
Mr. Numo.
You are off. You are offline. You are muted. You are muted.
You are muted, Mr.
Yeah,
Numo.
muted him. Let me
you are muted, Mr. Numo.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Numo.
You're muted me.
Yes, I muted everyone, not only you alone.
Hey, you people are responsible.
Yeah,
I muted everybody. Even they Wolokoli man here who is saying that
Joseph Boakai
is in existence. This Wolokoli man, he does not have any vision. And Anderson, Mr. Anderson is muted. Anderson feels that being president is having how much millions of dollars you have. And Barney, Joseph Barney is here. He doesn't know where he is.
What will you say?
No, nobody should talk. Right? He doesn't know where he is. I know he's speculating. And then we have the Chuchu man here, or Senegalese, who does not know who he is.
You're racist.
And
Mr. Debo, you're racist. You're travelist.
Shut up. The man who boasted
Joseph Boakai is a Sierra Leone. Joseph Boakai is a Sierra Leone.
A man who
if you want to go to that.
Jesse, you allow that?
No, Mr. No, I think
No,
with
no,
all fairness, you're giving the
allow
time, let
that.
him express himself.
I'm talking, and Chuchu is talking.
Well, you
You
attacked me, so I got to
apologize.
defend myself.
Chuchu will come back to you.
You attacked my nationality.
No,
Did they attack my nationality?
Yeah, you will come back to you. You will come back to you. You will address yourself to
No,
that.
who posted on being a Senegalese? So these people are not qualified.
Oh,
Period.
Okay, Mr. Nubo.
I
This is
respond,
the
please?
African Action Network Radio and Television Station. We're having a very fruitful
my
discussion
God.
today. There are individuals who believed that Liberia needs to be changed, and I think everybody on this platform agrees
Excuse me.
that Liberia needs to progress. There's a need to change the status quo, if I may say. I don't know the mindset of Mr. Wolokoli so far, but he believes strongly that he's going to be making decisions later. But Mr. Numo supports Joseph Yuman Boakai, while Mr. Banning believes he's the strongest person to be president. Chuchu believes he is the president. He is to be the president. Now we have Mr. Gopo who has joined us. I hope his line is okay. Mr. Gopo, we asked the question, who should be Liberia's next president? Assuming that
Jensen, before Dr. Gompo speak, I want to ask Mr. Anderson a question. The same question from based on the comment that Mr. Wolokoli said. If you have an aspirant that have a vision of the 70s and the 80s, should that person be contesting when you already in the 21st century? What do you think? What's your opinion?
I think Joseph Boakai should honorably retire himself from the Liberian politics. Honestly, I don't believe Joseph Boakai is a presidential material, and
What
if
kind
my
of
time should
material is
be,
he?
Joseph Boakai is an old man, a senior citizen. He should be considered as an elder statesman, and he should have his retirement in with respect. You know, he shouldn't impose himself on the Liberian people in consideration of his age and
See,
his health.
that sounds better.
Someone will say the Liberian people love
Now,
him.
respect my time. In my opinion, I believe Alexander Cummings is the best person to be the president of Liberia because he's a visionary and he has the capacity to lead Liberia where Liberia needs to go. I submit.
All right. Let's go back to Mr. Gopo. Mr. Gopo, are you? Yeah, before let's listen to Mr. Gopo. He's just joined. He has not made a comment yet. Mr. Gopo?
Tell who your
Yes.
thoughts,
Okay, good. I think we can hear you. Now, this is about Liberia. The president said there's a lot of reason why Liberians have to be advised, or this kind of a discussion, we should be able to advise Liberians on the type of person to be president. Now, you are one person. I'm sure you will say you are the best candidate, best aspirant. What type of leaders do you hope to see in people, assuming like you have to withdraw or in some point in time, if for any reason you have to withdraw, what type of leaders are you hoping for? Do you hope to see someone who believes in transparency, accountability, someone who believes in fairness, honesty, someone who would think about Liberia in a direction of not doing the same thing the whole way all of the time? What type of leader? What is your own criteria, your own education? Maybe you can speak about leadership and tell us something about who should be Liberia's next president.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think that the next president should be someone who has a vision for transformative changes in Liberia.
Okay.
It should be a person who is not only educated, well educated, but it should be someone who can promptly provide direction and solution to the multiplicity of problems facing the Liberian society, especially in the economy. And also someone who can unite the country, provide a strategy and leadership for reconciliation across the country. Someone who can bring ideas to create a system to rapidly create good jobs in the economy, that can address the problem of food insecurity, that has not only the dream, but the record and strategy for fighting corruption across the society.
Okay.
And in light of that, I think it should be a person who has demonstrated through their work, through their ability, and through their capacity to address these problems. So the question about whether or not I could recommend one of the leading candidates to be president, I think I'm not in the position to do that at this time, because I think that I present a very good or excellent choice for the Liberian people. And with respect to people who you consider to be the leading candidates, I think so many of them have blown the opportunity. And I really do not see how even the references they're making to themselves sometimes sounds laughable. The idea of someone calling himself a fixer, another group calling themselves a rescue team, and all of that tells you that these people are not ready.
And that's a good point. Those are good points. Chuchu, you said something, and I thought to come back to you. Liberia is not a place where individuals should not be serious, especially those who want to be president. But the fact remains, the political field is open. The Constitution is open to everybody who is of age 35 and property value of 35,000. Like you, nobody can say, hey, Chuchu should not be. But the National Election Commission is the referee, is the only institution that should say, hey, you're not qualified or you qualify. Do you believe in the National Election Commission? And if so,
no,
I do
not.
You do not believe in the Election Commission?
Absolutely not. First of all, I think the Election Commission is very partisan. I don't believe that the president should be appointing election commissioner, because it takes away any neutrality. If I'm the president, I'm not going to nominate somebody who's going to be fair if the decision was reached on, if the calls were closed. So I think that when I talk about reform in Liberia, what's missing in Liberia is people don't have any new idea. So, like you said, monkey see, monkey do. Everybody just want to be president, but nobody have an idea. I propose that all the commissions in Liberia should be completely independent of the president's nomination. Election.
This is what we have right now. We have right now. Are you going to submit your application to that body?
Well, like I said, we're going to go proceed with that, but either way, we'll see where it goes. And it more than likely, if I'm not in a race, I will boycott the election. And the reason I'll boycott, I will be very, very clear that look, premature democracy is the worst thing that has happened to Liberia. Liberia is not ready for democracy. Let's face it. We don't have the institution. Okay, hold on.
I do not think we should condemn the National Election Commission in totality. That's the barrier that's set up right now. Mr. Banning, I'm coming back to you, Chuchu. Mr. Banning, we're talking about the National Election.
I just want to make the last point that in terms of, because I start with Bouaka, I think it's an abomination for a man like Bouaka, who has provided no leadership in Liberia. He just got position because of his tribe and because he's a tribal leader. But no merit, Ellen picked him because he's from Lofa County to win vote. His entire stay in the House, in the Senate was useless. He's done nothing. Cummings, on the other hand, also has done nothing in Liberia. I will endorse Dr. Gompu. I think Dr. Gompu is well qualified, more than the Cummings 10 times.
That's the opinion. I would want to stop you right there. Let's hear from Mr. Bani. The National Election Commission. That's the only body we have right now. You cannot say you don't want them at the stage. right? They are the body established to conduct 4 months
But
from
you
now.
can protest. You can protest. Not because something. You can. Martin Luther King brought change and civil rights in America by protesting. You
Are you
can't. You
prepared to
can't.
do that, Chuchu?
Like I said, if I don't see the change in the way that our democracy is carried out, look, I have a lot of support. People listen to me. A lot of young people look up to me. If I tell all the young people that look up to me, don't bother, they wouldn't vote. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, all right. Mr. Bunny, the National Election Commission, do you have faith in the commission? You are muted.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I am not going to debunk or denounce the National Election Commission. This is the body that have worked for years, and many leaders or our leaders have always come from this body. So no, I trust them. I trust the leadership. Yes, we might say that the structure may not be correct, but if that is the body in place to select our leaders or to make the final decision, I trust them. And whatever decision they may come up with, if I, as an individual, I can protest it, but I can't. Don't have any ground to say no. These people are disqualified. They are this or that. That's the body that's in place. I really adore them. I mean, most of them are doing their job. Yes, we know corruption is in every fabric of our institution, but there are some people there too that just they know what they're doing.
Okay.
So no,
Right.
I don't condemn National Election Commission.
Okay. Dr. Gopo, the biometric system, the voter registration, the result is out. I'm sure you guys that are in the race are paying attention, a lot of attention, because that's a figure that each of you will have to, look into seriously and be able to determine whether in fact you can rely on the figure to participate in the election. What is the view on the biometric result and the election commission as a whole?
Well, I just saw the data. They said 2.4 million people registered, and that number looked pretty much like what the number was in the last election. So it makes me wonder, where is the population growth? And I know that so many voters are missing because of the way in which the registration system was deployed. In my own village, there are about 3 surrounding villages in that area. And I understand that this time they have only one place to register. So clearly, some people of age would not have an opportunity to get to the registration site. So that 2.4 million really has to be compared to the data the year before that. I don't have the data for the 2017 election, but it looks pretty much to me like there's no real growth. So I don't know what happened there. So I have some reservations about the reliability of that figure.
Do you intend to write? Do you intend to write the election commission and state your view on the result that he had?
Well, to write the election commission to state my view in order to achieve what?
For example, you said there are villages around your town. People are in those places that have never had the opportunity to register, meaning that if people around you as presidential candidates, they never register, meaning you're not going to get a vote from them. If you don't have a vote from around your villages, I'm not sure whether you're going to be thinking about getting a vote from Monrovia or other places so easily. So those are concerns that you probably could raise with the election commission.
Well, I mean, that's your suggestion, and it's something to consider, because I don't want to file protests at this time when the election has not even begun. But it is something, I mean, it is an issue that the entire country should be concerned about, to really look at the data. There should have been population growth, that, naturally there will be growth. So, and our population is one of the fastest growing in the world. So we really have to look at the data carefully. But having said that, the data we have, we can begin to work with it. We just have to make sure that this process is transparent, which means that the Election Commission should provide an opportunity to talk to the political parties, to bring ideas and to make sure that there is clear representation on how they're managing the data and how they're going to ensure that this election is transparent, free, and fair. It's not enough to just say it will be free and fair, because we know that even in a biometric system, there are ways to cheat. There are ways to cheat. And Alex was on there. Alex on the presidential aspirant there, and thank you for considering me in terms of the possibility of an endorsement in the future if you were not in the race. But I think he knows a lot about IT systems and how IT systems could be manipulated. So I think that we should all be aware of that and keep a close eye on the Election Commission and make sure that the Election Commission is transparent and is open for us to understand their methods of how they're going to manage this whole process and how the data will be collected and distributed to the public prior to the casting of the vote. Because we should not, I don't think we should wait to get results before we begin to find ways to prevent fraud in the system.
Okay. Mr. Wolokoli, have you heard about pitching? You have something to say? Mr. Wolokoli, you have...
Yeah. Before you go to your next question, there was a comment that Mr. Jones made. I wanted to ask Mr. Noble a question on it, his views on what Chuchu said. He said that it is an abomination. I'm quoting Chuchu. It is an abomination for someone like Boyka to be in the race. Mr. Noble, you want to respond to that?
Sure. Okay. If you can unmute me.
I did that.
Yes, as you have done now, I can respond to Chuchu. Chuchu does not know what time it is in Liberia. Chuchu, I mean, we are talking about, I feel that tonight we should be talking about top 3 or 4.
We coming to that.
No. 4 presidential candidates. Dr. Gompo is here, rightly here. Chuchu will be the 20th. Maybe Joseph Barney will be the 19th. So we are not realistic if we can invite somebody like Chuchu and Barney. For Dr. Gompo, it's fine. Now, this is a man who wrote an article and he said he is a Senegalese citizen. Boasted about it. And then he want to talk about Joseph Boakai. And you brought him here. You and Jensen brought Chuchu here.
Okay, Mr. Nubo. Mr. Nubo, you are supposed to respond. You are supposed to respond to the comment.
I've got to respond to that man.
Yeah, you are supposed to respond.
No. Patient. Mr. Nubo, just a second. I will respect the view of each and every one of you here, right? And Mr. Nubo, if for any reason Chuchu says something, he's right here. You have a right. We'll give you the time to respond to him. The issue of the other presidential aspirants that are not here, your view is important. The issue that bad. If somebody said Joseph Boakai is an abomination for him to be a president, I think that's the perfect time you can use to sell your ideas and convince Liberians why you think
he has none. He has no nothing to refute it.
Other than that, I mean, to start attacking one another, you leave the issue and the Liberians can listen to you.
you are right.
He's just like his Kennedy.
Okay, let's Chuchu, give him time. Let him.
I have to set the foundation.
Okay.
This man here, he feels that being old is a disease. He called me old man here. He called Joseph Walker old man here.
He is.
It is.
He is.
And it is.
He is.
Please. No.
Chuchu.
And that debilitation that comes with age.
Yeah.
Jesse is not responding.
Go ahead,
Mr. Nomo.
Is interrupting me, and you are not responding.
We are calling him to stop and listen to you. It's a time.
You said Chuchu already.
Let's take the issue.
Okay, so this man has no right, or Senegalese has no right to tell Liberians who to vote for. This man here who boasted that he is a Senegalese in his article has no right to tell us who.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Nomo.
As far as I am concerned, Joseph Walker is the best candidate, and Chuchu is not in the number 3, number 4, number 5. No, Chuchu is probably in the 25th.
Okay.
Well, can I respond to this? Can I respond to him?
We'll come back to you. Mr. Willocoli.
I gotta respond to him.
I will get back to you. I'll get back to you.
The man's making false allegation.
I'll get back to you.
He's making false allegation.
I will get back to you. Mr. Willocoli, we're talking about the biometric voter registration, and I know you, someone who playing with computers and what have you, with the Election Commission's result, the voter registration role. Even though you are withdrawn from the race. But is that a figure? Do you have any idea as to whether that figure is realistic and something to rely on, or do you think there's any issue? Can we rely on the figure?
No, I think that the figure is sad, like Mr. Gompo said, that the same numbers, it's the same numbers from what we have from the last election. What we should be worried about as a country and as a nation is to show that a lot of people did not go out there and register and vote, because for the 6 years we should have a lot of new voters. And yes, every system that man create, it has flaws. So there will be things that people can manipulate and and so forth. But I don't think right now, I have faith. I don't think that the system will be manipulated in a way in which that will sway the election from one person to another person to affect it. That is my faith, that I don't think that's what it would be. But the numbers that is showing, like I was on a show a while back, maybe a couple of weeks ago, people were saying a lot of women was registering to vote and they were trying to make it a big deal. And I said, no, it is not a big deal as people are trying to make it seem. Women always register and vote more than men. What we should be looking at when the first stage of the voting thing that came out, the numbers were the same. It was not to say that we have not had that absurd. If what we should be talking about, how we should fix the voter registration, I think for me, I think that we should be having people register to vote when they turn 18. That should be an automatic registration to vote. So we're not going through this stages of registration, voting registration in the year of the election. Then that's what causes problems. That's what brings fraudulent things and bring in issue. So we should not. Right now is where it is right now. Everybody's criticizing, but I think I would have faith in the system till we can show evidence that what it is, not just they say or somebody assuming that this would be bad. So that's where I would stand on that.
The reason why we're asking the question, because, for example, the census report is out there, and that there were no electoral district demarcation. And as a result of that, the figure that is out, I haven't done a division, but you realize that if we take the constitutional provision of a little more than 20,000 persons for an electoral district, you may have more representative in some of these counties than what we have right now. Now, these are issues, and Mr. Numa, I think you have.
Let me please don't go away from me on this, please. Don't.
Okay, just a few seconds here.
So right now, the UP party, the ANC party, the CPP, all the political parties, when it comes to the whole censure. The people of Liberia and the political part of Liberia, when I did a video about maybe a month now when it came down to the whole censor thing. The political parties should have went and sued the government of Liberia to make sure that the censor and everything was done properly and everything. But nobody did it. All they did was went and petitioned the representative, which is not who they were supposed to go to. But the reason for me, my opinion, the reason why most of the political parties did not go and sue the government is because, one, they don't have competent lawyers. Two, they don't want to spend the money where it's supposed to be spent. So they are going to take the shortcut to go to the lawmakers, which the lawmaker just make the law. Lawmaker can sue the government.
Mr. Wilokoli, even you yourself, a single person can file a lawsuit. I mean, that's not. I don't think that's an excuse.
No,
that's a good excuse.
I'm saying that's what exactly. So the political parties should have sued the government in order if they were sincere in saying that. If they were sincere in saying that the censor was not done properly, the numbers were not where it is. Because those people don't want to admit it. They are going to wait to the election, when the election is held, to go tell young people to get in the street and protest the thing, to bring violence into the country.
All right. I know, Mr. Kobe.
I think there was a lawsuit filed on this.
They filed the lawsuit that was filed. They sued the lawsuit that was filed. They sued the election commission. They did not sue the government or the censor sector of the government. They sued the election commission. You can sue the election commission for censor.
But again, the issue I'm raising, the reason I'm saying this, even you as a private citizen, you as a political leader, someone who wanted to be president, you could file a lawsuit with all of the brain that you have.
If I had the money for me to do it, then I would. But
why you didn't do it? Okay, I will come back to it. Chuchu, we're talking about this thing because it's a very serious matter. You're a computer person too. The biometric system, the figure that is out is important because that's a figure that will determine the free fairness of the elections. Do you agree with the figure? Have you seen the figure? Do you agree with the figure?
First of all, when you're doing a process like this, you have to have verification. You have to have independent verification. The election commission, whatever number they put out there, nobody knows. They could tell you, say 5 million or 3 million. How do you know it's true? How do you verify?
All of you political leaders should be people who either consult.
It's the problem. It's the problem. I will go back to Mr. Nipo. You have Joseph Boakai, who claims to be the political leader of the Unity Party, correct? Am I correct? Right? How many Unity Party representatives and senators in the Liberian government for the last decades? I would say if not the largest, the second largest. Okay, they are the ones who are supposed, if he was a competent leader of a political party, he would have passed bills and made sure that all these irregularities questions would have been solved. But the man is very incompetent, like I said. And no number of praising or support. Look, Saddam Hussein won election by 90%. Charles Taylor won election in Liberia. Even if Joseph Boakai, by some skin of the teeth, win election in Liberia, it means nothing. Liberia is a very vulnerable society. This is a very corrupt process. You talk about the biometric. You don't even have an ID card system, correct ID card system in Liberia. If two people are joined,
right? I think they have.
Can you go? Do they have a database? Do they have a database where you can identify someone based on our database? You just go out and give people card and say this is an ID card. Where's the backup data there?
I think Mr. Nomo, you're IT person. Yes, don't you think that's a database as a result of the ID card that were issued?
But it look like there's not. Well, Mr. Nubo said Joseph Biden does not know where he's at. I think he's right there.
Okay.
Just because I'm quiet does not mean I'm not here.
No, coming to you. There is a reason why. I just want to get this thing clear. Yeah.
Am I on?
You on, Mr.
Numo, I can hear you.
Okay. I want to respond to Chuchu.
No, the question.
No.
The biometric, Mr. Numo. We don't have much time, Mr. Numo.
No, you don't tell me what to respond to. I want to respond to Chuchu and respond to the biometric.
Well, when I was responding to him, he cut me off. One thing he has the right to can't dominate the show. Okay? This show does not belong to Mr. Numo and his old-fashioned style. He does not control the show.
Chuchu, just a second. Let's give him the time. Then you see what you want to say.
Let the man respond to the biometric, which he knows nothing about. Neither does Joseph Borga, can barely use a smartphone. And these are the people you're telling.
No, Mr. Numo, I'm gonna tell. He's an IT person, right? So let's listen to his
People know about IT. Let's
listen to him. Chuchu will come back to you.
He knows nothing about IT.
Mr. Chuchu, can we listen to him,
Mr.
please?
Numo, go ahead, please.
Okay. If Chuchu is not talking, I would tell him. He does not know anything as compared of IT as compared to me. This Chuchu man here, this Chuchu man who claimed that he graduated from his school and graduated from that school, and he knows.
I can teach you.
Mr. Numo.
Okay, Mr. Numo.
No.
Information technology.
You have not muted.
As old as you are.
You are not muted him.
Mr. Numo.
I did.
You need to mute the crook before I continue.
Mr. Numo, please, Mr. Numo.
If you was sitting here, the man will insult me.
Mr. Numo, I don't think that's fair. I don't think, Mr. Numo.
Because I think it's
no, Mr. Numo.
Mr. Numo, please respond to the question.
He cannot defend him. He does not know what he's talking about, and he wants to come here.
If you start talking, I will
sometimes just listening to.
Should not be talking. Nubo should not be talking.
Just a second, folks. Mr. Numo, we want you. I mean, the audience are there listening to you all, right? So the issue is the biometric of voter registration. The result is out. Even if Chuchu says something to you, I know you are an adult, someone who can actually say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to address this issue. I'm going to deal with the issue that is being asked.
Well, he's acting like a kid. Yeah.
No, please, Chuchu. We wouldn't accept that.
No, he's insulting me. He's insulting me.
Yeah, but even with that, Chuchu.
No, if you're going to misbehave as a, he's going to act like a child, then I will show you who he is.
I mean, with no disrespect to the two of you,
he was the one who insulted me. He called me a crook.
Can we pass that question?
And you did not
right. We don't support that.
So he's acting like a little child.
I have
we told him it was wrong. You are saying we tell him too, he's a child. We also tell you it's wrong.
No, but why do you allow him to say that? Can he prove?
No, we can't. I mean, the thing is, he said it. We think it's wrong. Chuchu, he said it. We told him it's wrong. So when you call him a child, we also tell you it's wrong because we want this place to be peaceful.
Well, fine.
Can we get back to the discussion, please?
Right. So, Mr. Numo, with no disrespect to you, let me hear from.
I was not the one with a corrupt GSA person in Liberia. Where is
Can we forget that question for now and let's hear?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on and focus on the critical issue.
These are the people that ruin Liberia, and they still won't be hanging around.
Chuchu,
like that.
So, gentlemen, let's analyze this thing.
Yeah, Chuchu, can we have a peaceful discussion?
Can we talk about the vice presidential pick? The two most recent.
Let's hear from Mr. Banner. Mr. Banner has not discussed about the biometric. Let him talk
I said nothing yet. The fact that I kept quiet does not mean I'm not.
Go ahead, Mr. Banner. Mr. Banner, sorry. Go ahead.
You see, it's not the one who talked the loudest that talked the smartest.
I agree.
So I think Liberian people, let me talk to y'all. If y'all hearing us and seeing us, I think y'all will be the judges. Among just a few of us here who coming before you're talking about we want to be leaders. I'm saying this to mean that y'all seeing the crabs in the swamp. We got people out there already on show throwing stones at us, throwing trash at us, suffering our people. We are tired of it. We are saying we are coming to rescue our people. Then we sit down here pulling each other down. What kind of crabbing attitude is that? And Mr. Nebo, you just come into the room swinging at everybody. Swinging at everybody. No, don't do that. And if you talk about the biometric, what I'll say here, look, the problem that sparked out in the American elections about Russia taking part, in the election, changing this, and we saw all kinds of technicians coming out to prove algorithm is data. Look, I would think that if such a technology were coming in Liberia, we should take at least a 4 year or 2 to educate the people before we ever bring such a technology. Even our own smartphones, like those other, they can't even use their own smartphone correctly. And here you're bringing technology like biometric. Do you know that there are algorithms that can change numbers?
Right.
And we know the corrupt government already are there can pay people to change the numbers overnight. With other algorithm, when Ellen Johnson called the NEC chairman at home, and they changed the figure overnight. How much more about this?
That's an allegation, Mr. Banner.
It is a true and a fight allegation. But what I'll say here, the algorithm, I would that the government take a time at least 2 years to educate the Liberian people on this before we bring it. We could take care of them. We could take care of them sending online.
That is belated now. I agree with you, but that is belated right now. And what we have
technology as compared to me. All of you on this platform tonight.
I agree now, Mr. Numo. Mr. Numo, we're not going to argue. We're not going to argue that.
I would love to go on debating with you, Mr. Nubo.
Oh yeah, I would be glad.
And I will beat you up.
Okay. All right, guys.
Okay, thank you.
We
thank
get
you.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Can we go to the next question?
Yes. What is your question?
The question is Mr. Numo.
Just give me.
Mr. Numo, please, we'll come back to you. You're part of the forum. We respect the opinion and all of this stuff, but we will not just want you and treat you to join, start to attack one another. That a couple. On a very serious note, George Weah, many will believe that he should retain his position. I mean, his second term. He should complete his second term. I know there are a lot of criticism about him. All being said and done, do you think George Weah, for some reason, should be given the chance with all of the political noise from the opposition bloc?
Well, my answer is no.
Okay, why?
When we look at his performance, I think he's a guy who has entertained the world. He has put Liberia on the map with respect to soccer, and we gave him credit on that. But when it comes to leadership in all of the different areas he worked, including now the presidency, the way we evaluate whether or not to allow a presidential person or president to continue is to look at the country before and the country after he became president. Look at the number of jobs that existed in the country before versus the number of jobs that exist now.
Okay.
How many of them were created in his regime compared to before? I just spoke with one teacher, for example, and he told me about how life has turned for him. That when I was in government, I helped him. This is a disabled person. I helped him to get employment. And at the time, he held a graduate degree. And he at his job at the time, he said his take-home pay after taxes and everything was about $300 around that, over $300. This was 2010, and we're talking 2023 now. His take-home pay is around $106. So if you just look at civil compensation, the level before we are and after we are, there's a significant decline, even though there has been inflation over these years.
Okay.
So when you look at the different sectors of performance, education, health, the financial sector, employment, number of foreign direct investment, the number of new business establishments in the country, the level of corruption before and after, and all of that, you will see that all of the numbers are going in the wrong direction. So it will be devastating if any error like retaining George Weah were to occur.
Okay. All right. We'll come right back to you. Liberia's vice president, the constitution provides when the president, in the case where something happens to a sitting president, the vice president is supposed to take over and become the next president. Now, that brings to the point where a vice running mate is very important. Now, with all the names, I think two of the major, if I may say, contenders have named their vice running mate. We want each of you to give a view on that. And we also will ask Dr. Gopu, Dr. Bani, and Chuchu why you guys have not named your vice running mate, like Wolokoli and earlier stated. But let's look at the two persons who are named the vice running mate. Is there any comment? Do we trust Joseph Boakai's running mate, Jeremiah Pankong, or do we trust Alexander Cummings' vice running mate, how you call Charlie Bronsky? Gonglo too has not named his vice running mate. So we just want you to cross your eyes on this individual. Do you have any concern about them? We want to start with you, Chuchu, saying you the fire in the house.
I have to. Unfortunately, I can't stay on too much longer. So I'll be used to as my departing. No offense.
Okay. All right.
Normally, I
hope
just
we don't attack someone because at the end of the day they will want to respond to that. Just direct them.
No, so I would say this: Joseph Boakai is a disappointment. He's an abomination to politics in Liberia. He has done nothing. He's brought for no ideas. And he's old. Nothing wrong with being old, but age comes with some debilitating features. Okay, and unfortunately, you have a vibrant country with young people that needs a lot of work done. You need sharp minds. You need technology. You can't live in today's world if you don't know technology.
I will agree with you on that.
Good luck. And you can't tell me. You can't tell me.
Run away.
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that somebody is going to come and put a technology in for you. You don't know what it's doing. You know, that's the same situation with with George Weah today. The president needs to know more than the people who he's employing. You can't be a president and say, "Oh, I don't know anything." Yeah, I will get to that, but I just wanted to think. Lastly, I wanted to say in that regard, look, the age of Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of David. This thing in Liberia, the country, is a mess. Okay, many of you know you're ashamed of your country. You want to go home and live there, you cannot. You have to seek employment in other countries, including that Mr. Nimbo man here, who helped destroy Liberia. Okay, you have laid no foundation here in his boycott. And I don't care whether they be president or not. It doesn't change the fact that the country will go nowhere until you bring younger people with technological backgrounds, with current day application. That's what they're doing in England. That's what they're doing in Switzerland. That's what they're doing in New Zealand. That's what they're doing in Chile. So as far as the vice president, I said it and I will say it again, Cummings has been a disgrace. All right. He has not been able in the 6 years in Liberia to develop nothing for which people can look at and say this man has shown political leadership. He has divided people, the Liberty Party, and he would be a bad choice. And
why have you not named your vice running mate?
I will get to that. Charlene Bronsky is my cousin, okay? And I do not support her for vice presidency because she does not have the experience, the political experience. She was in a political party that's been divided and disrupted. So what leadership she couldn't show in a Liberty Party that now she's going to show as far. Look, this is a joke.
So
and like
why
I
have you not
said,
named your
I will
vice?
make a decision because at this current time, we are still
What about
examining
breakout
But
running mate?
Jeremiah Coons, if anybody can select anybody in the House of Representatives or the Senate in Liberia as vice president, they order their minds, because these are the very people today in 6 years' time have done nothing. They are past all Joshua. So just the fact that you can go back and take somebody from the House of Representatives is like going to the garbage. I think Barney said I won, and picking up trash. Okay, there's nobody in the House of Representatives, senator has any ground, any leadership. These people have not passed one law that benefited or giving $1 to the ordinary people of Liberia.
I mean, I mean, time is fast spent. We just
Okay,
want to
Chuchu,
know why
you
you
have
have not
exhausted
named your
your
vice
3
running mate.
minutes.
Because we are still evaluating the whole political process, and like I said, we are not desperate for power. And the 4 people that you're considered to be your 4 running mate, the front running mate, leaders, who I don't know how you get your pool or how you come out of that determination. I do not support any of them. I will support even you on this platform or any of them, because they are all incompetent and useless, and they are the people who got our country.
Thank you, Chuchu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to coming back another time. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Barney.
Yes, sir.
Your vice running mate. Why you have not named your vice running mate, and what do you think about those who have named their vice running mates?
We're speaking on spiritual background. I think we should ask Jesus, why did he hold on to the wine until everybody got drunk with the ugly wine? And I've come to learn that in the stampede, those who stand still and look around are the people that get saved. Yes, I understand that we are pressed with time, but there are leaders who are there that we can evaluate. The fact that I never come up with my vice presidency does not mean that we won't come up with one. But one thing we should get to know here is that what's about the university graduates? What's about all of those young people who can make good leaders? Is Joseph Boakai telling me that in Unity Party, there's no young people there who got sharp brain that can do the job? What's about men like Theodore Momo, who also took part in government before? What's about men like Mo Ali? What's about men like the Senator Dillon? Why are they passing by to go down to take somebody who is already on his deathbed?
They are looking at the mathematics. Nima County is a rich vote. We can't deny that.
But this is what, Mr. Moderator, this is what's spoiling our country today. We want the votes until we forget about the matters the things that matters to the country.
Okay.
We want the people and forget about their deeds. And these are the very people that have corrupt us. These are the very people who destroy our country. Look, we should not mind because we can't be cutting our nose every time to spray our face. I think this is about time to come up to the Liberian people. We got young people, and that's what TPP is for, the People's Party. We want to invest in young people. Yeah, I'm 65 years old. So if you talk about old age, then I should be disqualified. But I only came in place to bring, if you look behind me, these are all my young people are leaders in TPP. And that's what I stand to do. I want to look for people at least in their 30s, in their 40s. This is about time now. We, the old people, we fail this country. Let's sit back and push the young people. This is the principle of TPP. So if I'm not choosing my vice president, I'm looking among young people to see who will be qualified. Now, I'm not going to take criminals.
Okay, all right. I think we have 2 more persons here. We'll call you care to comment on the vice running mate of these aspirants who have, like the Joseph Boakai's vice running mate, like the Alexander Cummings vice running mate, and probably maybe you can ask Dr. Gumpo why he has not named his vice running mate.
Man, I think that you should go ahead and ask him that question. Then I can respond after.
Okay. Dr. Gumpo, he gave you the platform. Firstly, look at these. I know you have problem with the aspirants themselves already and their vice running mate.
Who, me?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Dr. Gumpo.
Dr. Gumpo. Okay, yeah.
No, I think I don't have problems with their vice running mate, I think I have
Okay.
problem. I have concerns about their judgment.
Okay.
I think that the way in which they choose their vice running mate also is a reflection of how they would lead the country. It's a reflection of their level of patriotism. And these things should be reflected in the action of people who want to lead the country. To me, a number 2 person should be somebody who's ready to be president on day 1. Because anything can happen at any time. A heart attack or anything will happen to the president, to number 1. So the president or the presidential candidate, to me, should choose someone who he or she would vote for to be president if you are not in the race. So it means there's a very serious decision. It's one of the most serious decisions that a leader can make for his country. Because it's almost like somebody you are leaving in charge. Should I not wake up tomorrow, this person I'm choosing is who will be president. So it's a highly significant decision. So you got to look at the person level of job experience. You have to look at their own vision with respect to the implementation of those things that are needed in your country. Like I said, reconciliation, the building of this new economy that will address the problem of joblessness that so many young people are facing in our society. A comprehensive look at our foreign policy with respect to how it can really help to move this country forward. And so looking at championing the economy, the fighting vigorously and effectively the war on corruption and winning it. I'm not just talking about fighting and winning it, while at the same time reconciling and unifying this country. I'm disappointed at the decisions coming from the UP camp. I'm disappointed at the decision coming from the ANC camp, and even disappointed at the decision that came from the CDC camp with respect to second in command. When you look at the UP camp has resuscitated the concern about the war and the leaders in the war, and a reminder of when are we going to turn the page to move forward towards peace. So and not just from me as a person, but looking across the country, what are the conversations that have come up following the choice from the UP camp? Just rekindling the concerns about the war and the issue of the influence of PYJ in the whole process. Then when you look on the other side, you see people like Edwin Snow and other people being the tactician to put this whole package together. So that is kind of disappointing. And people expected more from an elder statesman like Bwaka. And so I think when you look, on the other hand, at the ANC group, you see that Mr. Cummins have sort of indicated that he's out of touch with the reality of our society. We are looking for a leader. What? I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me?
He could be looking at Baza being a rich vote county. Probably that's what they're all fighting for.
But you can't be fighting for ANC, the wrong people.
If you pick the president of the country based on the population density of a particular area,
because that population is to take thieves.
Mr. Blake, can he finish, please? Let the man finish.
If you pick your vice president based on population density, then it also means that you're not even respecting your constitution. The constitution says any Liberian is if you meet the age and you meet the qualification criteria, you can be president.
Right.
So it means that you can even come from River G. But if you bring that competence to help build this nation, we should give you a chance. So the vision of where we want to take Liberia should be influencing our decision rather than whether the person is from Maserado County. But then why are they not picking from Maserado County? Why? Is it because they didn't say from Maserado County? Because that's where the population is, right? So the whole issue of this population density, you should bring numbers. I mean, just because you're from Lofa, would that justify that, you know, if I pick you, you're going to bring numbers? So again, it's this belief in tribalism that has been reflected in going to a particular place because there is population density, thinking that, oh, because you pick that person, you know, their clients are going to vote for them.
So your last comment, why you have not selected your running mate?
Why I have not selected my running mate? Like I said, it's one of the most significant decisions I would make as president, and any president will make. We have a long list of criteria that involve background checks that we have to go through to make sure that people are clear, you know, on the basis of the record of corruption, on the basis of the human relationship, how where do they stand with respect to integrity, where do they stand in their community, where do they stand in their church, where do they stand in, you know, in terms of their academic background.
Can I just ask you one question for you? Do you know when nomination for candidacy begins?
Yes.
When is
the nomination for candidacy begin from June 14 to July 14.
When that's when last time I checked, it was June 1st.
Okay, but I'm in direct contact with the Election Commission, and they've given me the guidelines in June 14 to July 14. Within that window, all the candidates' names should be submitted.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of time, but we're going through that whole process. We're going through that whole process to make sure that we make a good decision for the Liberian people, because you know these kind of decisions are not personal decisions per se. You deciding for your nation. You basically are saying, if I'm not here, if I don't wake up from sleep tomorrow, this guy is the person, or this woman is the person who will lead this nation. Is that, you know, a try and error kind of thing?
Okay, Mr. Gombo.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's why we're taking time to go through this whole process of background check to make sure that we narrow our list. Then we do some interviews with respect to their vision relative to our vision in terms of, again, unifying this country, building the economy, and making sure that Liberia is respected, and we rebuild this country to be as dignified as all Liberians want. I think that is important.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kompu, Dr. Kompu. Sorry, Wolokoli, you had something to say before that came on.
No. I was giving him a chance for him to answer the question so that I can answer the question after the two candidates say what they were going to say.
Go ahead, answer.
Okay. So I understand everything Dr. Kompu said and everything that Mr. Bennett said, but I would say this: I believe that Vice President Boycott pick for his vice presidency was a good political pick.
What do you mean political pick?
Because our election, people getting elected in Liberia is not based on the electoral college. It's based on population. So with Jeremiah Coons coming from the NEMA, he could bring because I don't think that President Weah can carry. I don't think Vice President Joel Howard Taylor can deliver Bone County for President Weah again this election. So with NEMA and Bone, I think that people Bone County. I think Jeremiah Coons can deliver Bone County and NEMA County to Joseph Boycott. And with Senator Lawrence being now under the umbrella of Joseph Boycott, she can deliver Grand Bassa County, River Cess, and probably River G to Joseph Boycott.
So what do you think Coon can deliver NEMA to
Joseph
President Weah, right? Or Joseph Boycott? Sorry, Joseph Boycott. When we have so many contenders, that are from Nima in the race.
No, the contender we have there, Taiwan Gongla is not going to carry Nima County. He's not.
Why is that?
We
got Taiwan Gonglo. We have Dr. Gompu. We also have cities. We have their own stronghold in Nima. So what's the
it's going to split?
It
is going to split, right? They're going to split it, but the majority of what is going to that is going to do that, I believe that Combs and the whole Prince Johnson, godfather of Nima, is going to deliver Nima County to Bueka, and Bond County. If anything, if we actually carry Bond County, it would not be by the wide margin that he carried the last election. What's his name? Cummings picking Charlene Brunskin was, I don't think it was the play for the women vote and for the young people vote, but I don't think that it was the right thing. I have nothing against, I don't know the young lady personally, and I think that she has potential, and I think that she can do something, but I don't think she has the gravitas or the technical know-how for her to be there. I have not seen nothing about her vision that she has for the country that she would be able to do it. But I think that if she was forced in a position, she could step to the plate. But I don't think right now, for what it is, I don't think it was a smart play on the part of Cummings. Me personally, I think Cummings should have just dropped out of the race when he could not get Jeremiah Combs as his running mate. But I think he stayed in the race because of his ego and his pride, that he thinks that that is not allowing him, and the people around him are not allowing him to get out of the race. So with that being said, I think that Senator Lawrence can deliver Grand Bassa and probably River Sets and River G to him. President Weah could win Grand Kidman, Grand G there, maybe Sano and stuff. I don't think he's gonna have the electric landslide that he had before. I don't think what's her name, his vice president, can deliver him the counties that she did before. So
I think the when you want to, because right now we don't have the kind of a survey system where
I'm telling you, folks,
that's his opinion.
I know that is opinion.
I just left Liberia after a year.
That's your opinion, because there is no
opinion. No.
Yeah. Because listen. We have some public opinion, right? There was a gathering. There's a gathering.
It's the case.
Hold on one second, gentlemen.
We want to go to the questions. We have some comments that we want to put on screen.
Yes, I want to say something.
So you got 1 minute.
I'm currently back in the U.S. I was there in the U.S. for I've been in Liberia for a year and a half. I was running. I was on the ground listening to what I was seeing and everything that I was seeing. I don't know Dr. Gompo as much. I think I have not read too much about him, and I visited a lot of counties, about 7-8 counties that I visited, stayed in there a week and all those and things like that. But I'm just saying, from what I saw on the ground, Councilor Gompo, yes, he would get certain percentage. Gompo, I'm not going to say that he won't get anything, but I'm looking at. But we are talking about numbers. This is not an electoral college stuff. I'm talking about the percentage on the who get the most population.
Mr. Wolokoli, that's your opinion, because you did not take a census of the entire Nima County to know who is who and who they are for. Yes.
Yeah, so, I think Mr. Wolokoli prediction is influenced by the traditional Liberian perspective.
Yes.
Of how people vote or how people have voted in the past.
Yes.
You see, but you are part of the younger generation, and many young people like you are getting further away from the influence of the war.
Yes.
So some of those name recognition assets that were associated with the war. People who were born in 1995 and in 2000 and so forth. They are voters now. They are getting further and further away from giving people support because of what it did in the war. They're looking at deliverables in terms of what have you done since you've had all of these jobs that you've had because of some contribution you thought you made during the war. So I don't know whether you know, given that your name and your family has connections to Lufa, I do not know whether you will vote for Boakai because you know he is from Lufa. So on that same basis,
let me say this. Please, see that is the mistake that Tutu made. Everybody have tried to make that, saying that I am the only candidate in this race when I was running, the only person who have never said what tribe I'm from. People are able to say what they are able to define you by what tribe you are from. Nobody can say
no, but the thing is,
hold on one second. Nobody in the race from the time I was running can ever say, would never say that Mengistu Wolokoli, Mengistu Eddie Wolokoli stated he is from this tribe. I'm the only person in the race that I said it. I would never tell anybody in public or I would never announce say, oh, I am.
So even if you do, you don't have to. By virtue of your name, we know your linkage. You don't have to announce it.
No, it's okay. It's okay for people to say, I'm from this tribe, I'm from that tribe. They can say it. They have the right to say it. But I'm saying that you just recently, that you're just a few minutes ago said Dr. Gompu is from Nima. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was running, you can go on my social media platform. I have people who got mad at me because when they asked me what tribe I'm from, and I told them I would never tell them what tribe I'm from. Because
what is wrong with you saying that?
You don't have to.
The question for you, Mr. Simon, for you asking that question is what is wrong with the tribalism that Mr. Gompo is talking about.
No. I think with all fairness, what do you call it? Your personality and your person must be known to Liberians. You want to be a president?
No, I'm a Liberian.
That's enough. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying that a government is from Nima County. There's nothing wrong with saying you are from River County, even though your father lived in Kidmouth or so on. But there's nothing wrong to say you are from River County.
Dr. Gompo, just what you just said about I was born in the 80s. I was born in the 80s. Just what you just said, and you have the moderator saying there's nothing wrong with saying what tribe you are from. And you just said that, the people of the war. Well, people like Mr. Simon and you, Dr. Gompo,
people are asking you, there's nothing wrong with you telling them where you're from.
It is. But everything is wrong with it. Everything is wrong with it.
The reason.
Everything is. You got. Let's agree to this.
Listen. Let me get done. The reason
he was just saying.
Right, because you sound like
you were just saying that they are going to vote. They are going to vote on because he's from this place. He's from that place.
No. I'm telling. See, that's the thing.
That's the reason I brought that up.
Yes, you brought that up. Let me say, Mr. Dr. Gompo, you brought that up and tried to associate me to say I will vote for Joseph Boyka because he's from he's from West Africa. And I'm telling you,
that's your argument.
You are saying that.
But that's what you're saying. That's your argument. That's where.
Dr. Gompo.
You said because he paid Kun, he would win Nimba County. So the assumption is that once you pay from that county.
Thank you so much. Can we look at some of the comments here? We can't go any further. We already 2 hours and 30 minutes.
And I didn't say anything about that. Because they talk and argue too much, you overlook me. I'm not a talkative.
You will have your closing comments after all our we just want to pull up some of the questions, and then you will have your closing comment, 1 minute each. The closing comment. This lady is saying, how is GMB going to take us to the promised land when he did nothing for the 12 years he was in power? She was referring to some comment somebody made.
Yeah,
He
that
said it
was
right.
Dr. Mr. Lobo.
Okay, he was a PACA for 12 years, and he has been a PACA for the last 5 years. GNB has to be dormant for the past has been dormant for the past 15 years. Liberia needs a proactive leader, not a PACA. So that's what this person is saying. And then let's see what Jar says here. What do you think we have not had industrial farming since 1847? I think he was making reference to JMB also because he have been in the agriculture sector. Or if you want to respond to that, you can, let me know.
I'm not here to defend JMB, so I'm not here. The people who are there.
You see? And this person said, when was the last time any of these presidential aspirants were in Liberia? And for how long were they in Liberia? She was referring to Bani and Chuchu before Mr. Gompu came, Dr. Gompu came. So she wanted to know how long you've been there. Mr. Bani, can you answer that question?
Oh, yes. I've been in Liberia. When I left Liberia because they forced me out of my country, I came back there in 1995 in the heat of the war. I came there 2007. I came there 2008, 9, and 2008 and 10. I was there 2014. I was there 2016. I was there 2018. I was there 2019, 20, and I was there. I just left from there 2 weeks ago after spending 2 months and 20 days. In my stay, I went to Belayala, where I'm from. Then I went to Zilikai. I walked. I rode motorbike for 4 hours. No presidential candidate have done that. Only Joseph Bani alone. Every time I go to Liberia, I visit my people. I left from there. I went to Tuma. I caught bush. So, whoever you ask, just imagine 95, 7, 8, and 10, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, and I was there. So almost 10 different times. And I have a home built there.
Okay. And this person is asking, what is your definition of qualification in the context of political leadership? I think Majestu was saying, Majestu made a comment about qualification. You should be qualified to be president or something. Your opening comment, you said something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And so the person wanted to know, what do you mean by qualification when it comes to political leadership?
I would put it in the sense of your vision. You meeting the constitution requirement saying that's what makes you qualified to be there. That's the thing. What's the constitution state that what makes you qualified to be there? Now on the political leadership part, you are looking at what is your political philosophy? What is your ideologue that you want to govern the country? Where you see, what vision do you have that you want to have that you want to see the country go? That's where will come the political leadership. Are people following you because of the money that they're getting from you, or they're following because they're buying the idea that you have? In Liberia right now, I would say something controversial. Since the True Wing Party lasted as long as they did in Liberia because they had a political philosophy and ideologue. Since the 1980 coup, all the parties that we have had, it have not been about ideologue. It have been about individual. When Samuel died, what happened? MPP, what happened? When George Weah is no longer president, CDC is going to go. The only reason why UP is taking it around is because of what CDC is doing, because how jacked up CDC is. That's the only reason why. When Zana Cummings decide after the election, he decided he is no longer there, they are going to go away. You look at the LP party, Liberty Party. The only reason Liberty Party stayed in existence when Dr. Brunskin died and was gone, they brought in what's his name? The chairman, the current chairman, because of the money that he was able to bring into the party to revive the party. So when that money is not there, it's going to go away because they built institution around individual and not around a philosophy. So that's the problem that we continue to have in our country. So we build political parties and build things around ideologues and philosophy. We'll continue to have the problem that we're having.
Thank you. This person is saying, seriously, Mr. Barney, you are comparing why Jesus waited until the wine was finished before he turned the water into wine. So you
No,
waited to choose your VP running mate. I give up on you.
Yeah, so I think Mr. What call it just be a statement about qualification for leadership.
Yeah.
And I think my party is one of the few that has a clearly documented political philosophy.
That's right.
And in fact, right now for the new parties, that is one of the requirements of the National Election Commission. You have to file a document, separate document, to explain your political philosophy or your ideology. And our ideology, the ideology of the ADML, we are a center-left, center-right party, focusing on the forward movement of the country. Our ideology can be compared to the similar ideology as the current president of France, Macron. Is a centrist that is focused on moving France forward. And that's the same kind of idea that similar kind of ideology that we have. We want to reconcile the country, we want to unify the country, and our goal really is to move this nation forward, looking at skills, competence from different sides of the aisle. We're not extreme on the left, neither are we extreme on the right, but basically to get things done. So that's our ideology, and we try to emphasize that. So we're building an institution.
Dr. Gumpo, I appreciate you saying that, and I applaud you for that. But it's one thing for people to have, the NEC saying that this way people should write. People will write what they want to say because that's where they would just copy and paste and put it on there.
So they should write and do.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only writing, they should
not only writing. So
yeah.
When I'm saying for political, I'm saying that you believe in what is it. You are conservative, you are liberal, you are socialist, you are communist, you are this and that, and you believe that. What I'm saying from the coup, from 1980 to now, most of the political
But you are right. I'm not disputing that. I'm just telling you that our party has a clearly defined political philosophy. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay, so we move on to, you want to respond to the person, the analogy you use? Because the person said it doesn't hold. Why will you compare Jesus turning water into wine to you finding your running mate?
Okay. When I said this, it does not mean I'll bring wine on the wino. You know who a wino is. Just drink. What I mean here is that Jesus had on until all those bad guys were drunk and got out of the way, and then he brought the
they were drunk. That's not the scripture. The scripture
well,
never they were drunk.
This is my analogy.
Yeah,
this is my analogy.
The wine was finished, and then they had to get more wine. So they petitioned Jesus. The scripture did not say the guys were drunk.
This is my analogy, Pastor.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is my analogy. So the fact that I'm waiting, it does not mean that I won't have it. I want to see. I am like Dr. Gompu just said. I want to be able to have my next running mate, so that, like I say, if I'm disabled, that person will hit the ground running. So I'm not just going to rush up because I'm pressed with time and go jump like what they're doing now. You see? Oh, because we have a lot of people in Nima, because we have a lot of people in Basel, so we should just take anybody from there? I think this is wrong. And this is why I have a philosophy. First of all, like Dr. Gompu just said, I have a free market system. I want to be able to empower all Liberians equally.
Thank you, Doctor. Oh, thank you, Mr. Barney. I call you Doctor now. Okay, let's go to.
But they talk too much. I just now because I'm not talkative, so you just overlook me. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, Mr. Barney.
Mr. Barney,
I want to establish my philosophy, my ideology.
Go ahead.
like I said, I want to empower all Liberians to be able to have a competition against the foreign businessmen, so that Liberians can own their own, can control their own economic system. Besides that, job creation. We forget about it. Nobody's talking about job creation, all government jobs. No. Let's be able to create an industry so that Liberians can even go there with professional jobs. Besides that, what I want to do, why everyone should just come to Monrovia for jobs? Now, Maserado County have become like the superior county of all the country. For instance, senatorial run, representative run, everybody want to be senator for Maserado County because they feel that Maserado have everything. What I would do, I'm going to do my decentralization. I'm going to distribute the human resource evenly for all counties to be well known, so that population in every county will grow, so that we don't have to just pick a criminal from one county because of population. We got to distribute the population evenly or proportionally. Right. And this is what's spoiling our country today. They're taking criminals and corrupt people from this county and don't care because they want to vote. Because the population in Belayala or in Bapol County is less. Okay. But I'm going to throw government ministry in these counties so that population in there will grow.
Decentralized. That's good.
Decentralized. We'll have to decentralize the government and decentralize it.
Mr. Bonnie.
Thank you.
Mr. Bonnie, one second, ma'am. Mr. Bonnie, I'm sorry to say what you just said about decentralization. That you're not serious about decentralizing. Let's be honest, you're not.
Why am I not serious?
What you saying is exactly what everybody been saying. They continue to say.
Because everybody say, Mr. Wolcott, because everybody saying that does that mean that I can't say and do.
No.
I think somebody say when we say let's do it.
Sir.
Okay.
The idea what you just said is the same idea that's on the books. You are not serious about decentralization.
Why am I not serious?
Because the only way we can decentralize Liberia is to federalize Liberia. That's the only way I believe.
Okay, we're going to
that is not the only way, Mr. Wolcott. Education, we can decentralize the government without that.
No, we cannot decentralize the government.
No. Well, I can't. And the Liberian people can't.
No,
Mr. Bani,
you are not serious about decentralization. You are just talking about it.
Mr. Wolcott, I would disagree.
We're not here to argue. We will have a debate.
Go ahead. No, we might be sure we're fact-checking here because there are people who are listening to us.
Right.
We can decentralize Liberia without having a federal system.
No,
exactly so.
Cannot go for federalizing the country.
I disagree
that is not
with
true.
You. I disagree.
If Ministry of Education can operate from Monrovia and other counties, why Ministry of Education can't operate from Bumi counties?
Listen. The word decentralization means, for example, you have the Ministry of Finance, right? You can have a branch of the Ministry of Finance in all of the 15 counties.
In all of the 15 counties.
The Ministry of Justice in all of the 15 counties.
No,
what is
decentralization?
What is decentralization?
See, this is the thing. I will say this again. I was the only person in a race that was willing to take power away from the presidency. The only person in the race that was willing to take power away, as a president, I was willing to take power away from the presidency. Every county should become a state where we elect the superintendents become governor and a county governor is elected.
But this is what I'm talking about.
No.
We are cooking a seafood, but you're putting red oil and I'm putting palm oil.
Talking about federalizing the country, that's a different thing from decentralization.
Every county will be autonomous.
The
superintendent
power of it.
Let me make a point, please.
No, Sorry, right now, let's go to our questions and comments, and then we can close up. I'm just going to read them, and the one that I figure we need answers for, we ask for answers. The lady here says PYJ does not have the influence he had over Liberians as he did in the past, and same goes for Kun. People are underestimating the mindset of the voters now. I believe their eyes are wide open and they know now that the vote is crucial. So they believe that Prince Johnson is holding the hand of Kun and he's going to tell the whole of Nimba to vote for Kun does not hold. This is what the person is saying. And I go to the next comment here. The person is saying that, Mr. Wolokoli, I think you were wrong for not identifying with what tribe you are from. And Mr. Dave says, Wolokoli does not even know the difference between a country and a tribe. And we go again. We just going over this very quickly. Mr. Barney, all of these 10 times you were in Liberia was for vacation. That's what the person is saying. You just went to enjoy yourself. You didn't go there for any kind of political thing. And the last comment here, Mr. Wolokoli, JMB choose Kun mainly due to finance, as you know, the last statement is not there. The last part.
Can I respond to the
Dave?
To Dave. I
Dave.
know who, yeah. The difference. Not him. I'm not gonna waste my time on that. I stand by what I said. I think the one about I was wrong about not defining my tribe.
This is it. She said, yeah. I think you are wrong for not identifying with what tribe you are from.
And I would say again to the young people of Liberia. I am a Liberian, born and raised in Liberia. If I should run again in 2029, I would still stand by what I said in 2023, that I'm a Liberian. That's all that matters. Okay. My tribe does not matter. Okay. My tribe does not matter. What matters is the vision in which I'm doing. For the past 42 years, the same Prince PYJ that she stated that he can't hold his hands up and stuff is what our country has been on for the past 42 years. The same tribalistic idea and mindset is the same reason why we had a 14-year civil war in Liberia that killed 250,000 of our brothers, mothers, sisters, uncles, nephews, and nieces. So I would not be tribal. It would not be Mengistu Wolokoli from this tribe. So if he's elected, all his tribal people will come in the government. I'm going to fight away. I'm going to push away. It will be on competency. It's going to be on the person knowing what is it that they're supposed to be supposed to know to do the job to the best of their ability and do us in the best interest of the people of Liberia. I have not seen that yet, and I'm hoping to endorse somebody. I'm still looking. Hopefully, I will find somebody to endorse.
Okay, then before we leave you, Mr. Wolokoli, I just want you to give your closing comments right after I read this definition of decentralization. The dictionary says the transfer of control of an activity or organization to several local offices or authorities rather than one single one. Efforts to promote decentralization and reform of the national. That's another definition, political party. Or like the definition says, you have series of different, activities.
Thank you. I think Mr. Wolokoli have to accept the reality.
No, I don't have to accept it. You didn't have to accept.
Okay, so, okay, I get you.
Okay.
Mr. Gompo wanted to say something.
Yeah,
let me say this.
Wolokoli, we're coming to Dr. Gompo. Wolokoli, you have. I'm timing us right now. You have 1 minute to give your closing statement. Then we'll go around, including Dr. Gompo. He's going to give his closing statement, and Mr. Barney.
Okay.
So we start with you, Wolokoli.
All right. So I would say the whole thing about tribalistic is that's one of, like I said, is one of the things that I continue to hear when I was running, and I'm not surprised that this is going on like this. To the panelists, I enjoyed the conversation. To the ones then who came on and left. Thank you for coming on. And when it comes to, I will speak to the thing of decentralization. Right now, we are in a country. If we are really serious about decentralization, opening the political atmosphere, the political field for everybody to take part in, federalization is the best way for us to go in order for us to have a better Liberia. We can talk about, oh, putting the ministry, a part of the Ministry of Education in this county. Each county should be responsible for their own education system. Each county should be responsible for their own healthcare system. The government of Liberia, the federal government should create, say, this is the basic and how you do it. You know, everybody on this panel, all you guys who I believe are way older than me, are going to stick to, you always stick to that stuff. If you go and ask people who are my age, in my age group, will agree with what I'm saying. So you guys are able to understand that we have to move from that old way of thinking and into the new way of thinking. That most of the people on the panel over stay about control. It's still, so they still the whole tradition and that whole thing is going. They're not ready to get away from that. But that we will leave that for another day of debate. I would love to talk to Dr. Gompu and Mr. Blummy, so I can understand them better to make my decision on who to endorse. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Bani?
Will be the last, but I'll come. Thank you very much again. I must commend you for the opportunity you're giving me to speak to my people. And for those of you who are listening to us and watching us, I said thank you for the audience. And I appreciate all of your comments. You know, I appreciate that. That's what makes me strong. Because if you can't talk about what I do, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, so we all have to put heads together. And I want to give shout out. Usually when you're in the ring, you don't want to give your back to your opponent. But, you know, I want to be honest here to say, Dr. Gompu, right? Dr. Gompu, yeah. I admire your positions, and I really would have been okay. I can say, yeah, I think I can work with you. You know, so what I'm saying here is that I think we, the grassroots politicians that think we know the best or we know better for our people, I think this is about time for us to group together and brainstorm so that we can knock out these Rip Van Winkles. You know, Rip Van Winkle is a story about a man who slept 20 years in the mountains, slept through the revolution. When he woke up, there was the technology. So people who continue to deal with the past, and for those of us who have known this thing, I think we should group together. Yes, I would decentralize Liberia, the government, so that every county will be autonomous, so that every county will have their own road projects, their own government. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I say thank you. If you gave me the opportunity, I will do the best, and I will be one of the best presidents of Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you too. Dr. Gombu.
You are muted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Gombu.
Is he muted?
Go ahead.
I'm muted.
You okay?
Good now.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, for us to decide where we want to take our country. We have to be optimistic. We have to stop thinking that Liberia cannot change, that the problems of Liberia are insurmountable. We should stop that kind of way of thinking. I think that has permeated our society, and therefore people tend to vote along similar lines, assuming that the country is not going to change, so let's just keep the tradition going. And Liberia is being left behind. And part of the reason why we're being left behind is because we are not really investing in quality education for our children. So our people do not even know what is happening on the African continent. When you look across the African continent right now, there's a lot of progress going on. Look at Rwanda. Look at Mauritius. Look at Senegal. So much is moving. And Liberia has that great potential to move forward. But we have to start believing that we can change. We have to start believing that our young people are smart, and again, start reflecting it in our behavior and the choices that we make. In my political party right now, the national chairman of my party is less than 35 years old. The secretary general is less than 40 years old. So it is a view of the future that we're emphasizing here, that so much is possible if we have visionary leaders who can believe that when we take the right step and do the right things, we can move forward. We have to stop this attitude of celebrity leadership. Oh, the person was at the UN, you were at the World Bank. This person is the daughter of a famous lawyer.
Thank you.
What
Thank
do
you,
they bring
Doctor.
to the table?
Thank
This
you.
other person is president, a wife of a former president. So we've been in this whole attitude of just looking for celebrities and forgetting about the problems to be solved. So my leadership is focused on bringing results, solving these problems, investing in our human capital, which is the most significant asset that we have. If we don't do these things, it does not matter whether you vote for the queen of this place or vote for someone who comes from a large county, or who claims to be the daughter of a famous lawyer. We're going nowhere. So
Thank you,
it's
Dr.
time
Bobo. Thank you.
to wake up, and I really thank you for this opportunity to be here to talk to my colleagues and talk to these young people and the young people of Liberia and all of the voters. We hope that you start believing that so much is possible for Liberia, and ADML brings that forward. Thank you.
And I want to say thank you to our panelists. Thank you for the late invite. I mean, you honor it, and we really, really appreciate your coming. And the discussion was very, very informative. And I believe our listener out there, they were really informed about some of the things that were discussed here today. I want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you to our CEO for giving me the opportunity to be part of this discussion today. So thank you so much for coming. I want to say thank you to our viewers out there. I want to turn over to our host and CEO of 2A Radio.
Well, President, just to join you, we want to say thanks to everyone, and we want to urge all of you to take delight in all of the exchanges, and we believe some of the disagreement should not be seen as, I'm saying that specifically to Mr. Noma, I know he's listening, and Mr. Chuchu Jones, to take delight in disagreement, and so that Liberians can have hope in all of those who want to, take on leadership in the country. Relative to the topic today, I believed each one had an opportunity to say something that could be convincing to Liberians that believed in them. So I want to say thank you to all of you, and this shouldn't be your last time. Let's keep discussing the issue. That's the reason why we keep discussing. And until election, we have 4 months to election. And that's a very crucial moment. Liberians are looking for leaders. You can trust me on that. We can't sit and believe that Liberians are gullible and they're just going to swallow anything. We listen to people from across the country. It's a serious matter. And if you have the best platform, keep knocking the doors of Liberians, keep convincing them. And who knows? One of these days, Liberia will be issue driven. And then some of you could be in the best position to serve the country and change the country around. So I want to say thanks so much to all of you, and to our listeners and our viewers for the comments and for watching the long hour today. I think this is the longest hour, right, Patient?
Yeah.
We look back.
Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, we think it's good despite the long hour.
Next time will be 4 hours.
It's a pleasure to have had other people that are Gumpo, Wolokoli. I mean, we can all keep discussing the issue even behind the scene, and so that we can help, talk to people who are out there so that they can make a better decision. I think that's 2A Radio own view here. We want Liberian to have a choice, listen to all of the parties and be able to make a decision. George Numo, hey, guy, we still love you. Come back on board. Let's discuss the issue. We'll bring you and Chuchu. Get the 2 of you on this show one day. So
Yeah, I know, right? We'll stand back and see.
So thank you so much. It was a pleasure having all of you people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adriana,
Sorry.
Adriana wano ho lo magitie. Belengai kasha na ho. Wow, na mama ho. Thank you.